It's okay to want what you want. It just is.